everybody. Everything grows with a drop of love. We're all hanging on tooth and nail. It's a rocky road, this pilgrim trail. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Let's meet up down the pilgrim trail. Longs for a sail, like every campfire needs a tale. We're on this freight train going down the rail, together on this pilgrim trail. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Where everything is up for sale. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail. Let's meet up down the pilgrim trail. No return, baby, on the summer night. A shot of love and a spark of love to breathe. Stars align and the month times night burn like a dried out leaf. Are we leaving on the next train, baby? I do believe. Come on, let's ride this train. Come on, let's ride this train. Now I ain't missed a 9 to 5, I don't hear it in my song. I'm gonna pull my weight, don't get me wrong. Brand new start and a whole new part, they are big old shoes to fill. I'll be there on that platform, babe, you know I will. Come on, let's ride this train. Come on, let's ride this train. Now nothing is this rush of life, you'll never find its match. So you live to be a million years. All hearts are lost by default in the time of a single beat. We're leaving on the next train, babe, so take your seat.
Good evening. I went back to the old intro there, going to the way back machine. So we got us a guest tonight, and we're going to talk about Strasburg, and we're going to talk about some of the things that we did at where did we go? Steamtown. It was almost like three years ago. Are you ready? You ready to come up? Okay, I can't hear you. But here you go. Okay. All right. Boom. Let's see if we can get you over here. Okay. This way.
All right.
All right. There we go.
Hey.
Okay.
All right.
How you doing, DJ?
Good. Can you see me and hear me? Okay?
Yeah, I can see you and hear you fine.
All right. Yeah, you were talking about Steamtown, and that was 2018. I think it was BC, before COVID, right?
Yeah, that was before COVID. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Right. Yeah. I got a little bit more gray since then, you know. But,
So did I, and gained a
that'll
little bit
probably-
more weight too.
I think this is going to magically disappear come in 2 weeks. Somehow, just the magic, it'll all of a sudden look brown whenever I show up.
You'll get a suntan.
Yeah. So how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I tell you what, I'm actually in a really positive, good mood. I just did some landscaping. The weather's finally good in Pittsburgh after we had a tornado the other day.
Oh my goodness.
But the sunshine today. But yeah, being down in Florida, I bet you don't miss that Pittsburgh rain all the time, huh?
We get our share of rain. It's been in the 90s, so I wish I was back up there in the cool weather.
Yeah.
So
What's the subject for the show?
okay, we're gonna talk about what to expect at a meet and greet. And I know both of us were at the meet and greet at Steamtown a few years back. A lot of things have changed since then. Back then, there wasn't that many people that were doing live streams. I know I was doing live streams. Sparky was doing a live stream. I think Vinny was doing a live stream. Ron Perry was doing a live stream, and then Model Railroaders, they were doing a live stream. But that was about it. So you didn't really get to see a lot of people or get to know them really well. You just talk to them through the comments, and but since then, a lot of people are doing live streams, and you get to see a lot more people and get to know them. But back then, it was like a surprise to see everybody. I ran into a bunch of people, and I noticed that there was a lot of people there that I didn't even know about. And I see my camera just froze up here. Let me reload it. Okay. Okay, it's trying. Let me try this again.
Power the internet. Yeah, but if you can hear me, okay.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Right. It was interesting finally putting faces with some of the names of the people that did the comments. And actually, back then, there was a lot of people that were not showing their faces on camera. So you may have heard their voice, and then you meet them in person. Like, oh, okay, so now I get a name with the face. And, it was really nice. I remember finally meeting Roy. Did you get a chance to meet Roy when he was up there?
Yeah, I met him in the elevator, and I had to really look up. And I can imagine what it was like for you to meet him, because you're about 6 inches shorter than me.
I'm 7'3", but the camera takes off. Camera takes off a few feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was just nice seeing Nathan and Wilmer and Dave and yourself, and finally getting. That was actually the first time I met Nathan DeLay, so I was really excited to finally meet him. I know he's coming to this one. But yeah, it was just a really nice atmosphere, and finally meeting Sparky, and the fact that Sparky comes from Canada and puts all this together. And I don't know if people know this, but I'm going to Canada in June for a meet and greet up in Tilsonburg for Otter Valley. So I'm doing that. That'll be my first time in Canada since I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really excited. I know. So I'm really excited to do that. And that will be, we're doing like a whole little trip. We'll call it the train store tour, because I want to hit some of these train stores, like Otter Valley and finally get to meet Mini Prince, because Mini Prince is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I'll be going to Toronto, and then maybe on the way back stop at Buffalo. There's just, Tom, there's a lot of good railroad stuff, whether it's the model railroad clubs, or just all the different railroads we have through Pennsylvania, Ohio, into New York, and into Canada. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, that's going to be a really nice trip. When I went to Steamtown, I made a almost a 2-month vacation out of it. Let me get this.
Wow, you're in the right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. We left in April, at the end of April, and went up through Georgia, stopped in Savannah, stopped in Virginia, then went to Cass Scenic Railroad, and
Oh wow.
and even before we went to Steamtown, and I hit Northlands and a bunch of other places. Hit a lot of places in Pennsylvania, Ohio. Didn't get up to New York or any place like that. That was a different trip. But we spent almost 2 months, about 7 weeks altogether, hitting different places. It wasn't constant. A little bit too old for doing it constantly. But luckily, my daughter lives in Annapolis, Maryland, so we was using that as a home base and staying there for a few days and then heading on out to different directions. I met up with you, stopped in Pittsburgh, went to see my sister.
Right.
We met up, spent the day together. Wish we would have got to see the train store in Jeanette, but maybe the next time.
Yeah, I was actually there today. I forget. Did you say you've been to Strasburg before?
Yeah, we've been there about 3 or 4 times. In fact,
Okay, what's your favorite?
we were there. We stopped there twice. The year of the Steamtown, we was there the year before that, and I think about 20 years before that, I stopped there also.
Oh, wow, interesting. My friend, let's see, my friend Susie. Do you remember? I did a video about my friend Susie. She was one of the first women engineers.
Yeah.
I met her at Steamtown, and yeah, sometimes I get Steamtown and Strasburg confused. I'm like, okay, which one has the big boy? But that's going to be Strasburg has the big boy, right?
It's got the 611. What is it? Norfolk and Western 611.
Okay.
But Steamtown's got the big boy, the dilapidated big boy.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I couldn't remember which one. Who has the GG1s? Who has So, but this time, I'm going to be bringing the big video camera, and I got to check and see if I can bring the drone, because wouldn't that be?
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, you could probably fly it from out in the parking lot. I don't know if they'll let you go there or at the train museum to fly it, but that would be awesome. Get some aerial video of the place.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Didn't you teach
Yeah.
me that?
Yeah, say, oh, I didn't know.
We're going to edit that out. Right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know better than that.
So, yeah, the list of people that are going to make it, I've been chatting a little bit with Sparky, and pretty good numbers for this meet and greet. In just a little under 2 weeks.
Yeah. The thing about it is, you'll get to see a lot of people, there, and you'll probably not see a lot of the attractions while you're with the people. I mean, that's how it was when I was at Steamtown. I know it was either, you either talk to people or see what's going on. And since you're, this is the first time you're seeing people, you're going to be spending more time talking to whoever you're with than seeing what's actually there. So you probably need about a week to see everything.
Well, I'm actually going up very early Friday. It's about a 3.5 hour drive from me. I'll be one of the first ones there. We're meeting under the live cam
Uh-huh.
at 11, and then so we'll get an hour of meet and greet. I think 12:30. I'm taking just what's called the regular train, and I don't know. They have so many train rides. If you look at the event listing for
Yeah.
throughout the day, there are a lot of train rides. So I'm going to do the one at 12:30, and so you have Strasburg Railroad on one side, and then you have the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum. Now, I just found this out. I was just today years old that I found out that they're not related to each other.
No.
They're not related to each other at all, and I think that's where I was having a bit of confusion. But I know there's everything from the shop tours. Sparky's going to be doing the 6 o'clock wine and cheese tour. Um, so I don't know. I thought about that. I'm not big on cheese, but
I love cheese, but I don't drink wine. So, but we're not going to get to go this year.
yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, Debbie broke her hip. Actually, it's going to be 1 year tomorrow. We're going to celebrate her 1 year anniversary of breaking her hip. But she's not walking that well. I mean, she's walking, but she can't navigate steps. And like I said earlier, we usually stay at my daughter's house, and she has a 2-story townhome. So we're not going to be able to stay there. So we're not going to make this trip this year. I wish I would have been able to make it. But the thing you were saying about the train museum, if you book a train ride at Strasburg, you could actually include a tour of the museum with the ticket for the train ride. That's what I did when I was up there. You just pay whatever the fee is, and whenever you go to wheel call and pick up your ticket, you pick up the receipt, and whenever you can go across the street and go visit the museum.
Okay.
So that's
I'm going to make 2 days.
Yeah,
I'm going to make 2 days out of it.
Yeah, that's why we went back a couple of times in 2019, because we couldn't see it all at one time. So we went back a second time just to see it. We went to Strasburg, took the train ride, didn't get to see the tour. We wanted to go back again the third time, but we never made it. But we went to the museum, and I think the second time we went to the toy train museum, which is behind Caboose Hobbies, and then the Choo Choo Barn.
Okay.
So, but then we wanted to go back to go take the tour of the shops, but we never made it back there. And I was hoping that we would get there in 2020, but you know what happened there. But it's been a long wait. Everybody's been happy for it, waiting for it, anticipating it, and hoping that it would finally get here. And now it's just less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah. And Sparky and I are talking. I just did a little promo on my YouTube channel, just reminding people that it's going to be all 3 days. I'm only going to be able to be there Friday and Saturday. I'm staying Friday night at a hotel in Lancaster, and I'll be able to be there Saturday and back to CSX on Sunday. So
back to work.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a really good trip. And like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing people. I actually was trying to get a hold of the director to see if maybe we can reserve like one of the rooms for an hour, just for maybe like a Q&A or something. I haven't heard back from him, so I can't advertise that until I get some type of okay.
Yeah.
But there's going to be plenty of things to do. And I heard a friend of mine, actually Mike from the hobby store, told me, he says, when you go to Lancaster, they are famous for their smorgasbords.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Prepare to gain 20 pounds when you're up there.
Okay.
Yeah, they have nice smorgasbords and the family style dining. I remember one time we went up there, and they had these big picnic tables, and you just sit down with a bunch of other people, and they feed you steak and all kind of other chicken pot pies and roast beef and whatever. They got some really good food there, home cooking.
Good, good. Now, are you a cook, or is it your wife who does the cooking?
I do most of the cooking.
Really? So whenever we have the next meet and greet at your house, what are you making?
It'll probably be hamburgers. I don't go all out.
I was seeing those Doritos in the background. Like,
yeah,
company right now?
Doritos and hamburgers, and some cheese, Cracker Barrel cheese.
So what are you running in the background right now?
I got 2 steam locomotives. Let me put the other camera on. Let me see if I can get this up here. I got the quad cam. I'm gonna get you off for a second. You'll be able to see it. I won't be able to hear you though when you're off. But there it is. I got a Mikado and let me see, an 060 pulling the coal cars. It should be coming around. Oh, it just went past the camera. So let me see if I get another view of this. I got several cameras in here. Let me get this other one up here. Okay, there's that one. And you should be able to see the other one coming around. And thank you, Heath, for the $2 super chat. Did I miss the Q&A? No, you didn't miss the Q&A, Heath. Okay, there's the 060. Okay, here we go. Let me get you back up here. All right, there we go. Now I can hear you again. So that's what I'm running.
Awesome. Now, tell me about your 060.
060, that's it. I got that a couple of years ago. Debbie bought that for me. I think for my birthday or something like that. Since my birthday is December 24th, she gets me something in July.
Okay.
But I got that up at Port Charlotte, and that was pretty nice.
Is that a Bachmann engine?
Yeah, that's a Bachmann. That's a Bachmann. Okay. It runs really great, and the and the Mikado is it's a blue box BLI. It's the first generation BLI, and the ones that have the 2 decoders in it. That's the ones that they put the sound decoders in. You had to put your own DCC decoder in there. And thank you, Sparky, for the super chat. Okay.
There he is.
He's got a question here. What was your highlights from Steamtown for you and DJ? Go ahead, DJ. Let them know what the highlights were.
Well, you know what? If I say Sparky, can I tell him that my PayPal is DJsTrains at it actually it was meeting Nathan. He's such a nice kid, and I was just so inspired by him and just watching his progress too.
Yeah.
Meeting the YouTubers was really really interesting. So I enjoyed that, and these places they're so well maintained. It's very family friendly. You don't feel claustrophobic. It's just a big beautiful place, and yes, and they had they didn't have just steam. They had some diesels there also. So it was just there's stuff that sometimes you see on people's layouts, and then whenever you see one of these old trains in real life, it's just a different perspective. And that's actually one of the reasons why I'm excited to bring the big new video camera, is to show just how big some of these engines are. People don't realize that when you see it without any real reference. But
Right.
when you're standing,
You have to stand next to
the
it. Yeah.
wheel, yeah, and you're not as tall as a wheel. You're like, this is nuts.
Right.
So that's probably what I'm looking. I remember most. So what about you?
Yeah. For me, that was the first time I was at Steamtown. It was very impressive. I missed. Me and Debbie went to eat breakfast. We had breakfast at the hotel, and we missed everybody meeting it early in the morning. So we didn't get to see that, but we did go to the hotel the night before, and we got together in the restaurant there and got to talk to a lot of model railroaders there. A lot of them that I've known only by watching their videos, but that was the first time you get to see them in person, and it's really awesome to see what they're really like. You can't really tell, back then, like I said before, back then you didn't have that many live streams, so you didn't get to really interact with the people that are on YouTube. But that was really amazing that to get to talk to them for the first time and see what they're really like and interact with them. That was the first night, and then once we got to Steamtown, just to see everything there, it's amazing, everything that they have there, and like I said before, whenever you're there talking to somebody, you really don't get to see all the attractions there. You're spending more time talking to the people. There was one guy from Rochester that stayed with me for almost 3 hours, and we just talked the whole time, and talked about everything about model railroading, and about life in general. So it doesn't have to be about model railroading or railroading, but
Right.
you don't get to see the attractions. Then you just spend more time talking to somebody. But then when we got some time alone, me and Debbie were able to see a few things. I know we went together in the Roundhouse tour and the maintenance shop. I mean, that was awesome right there to see how everything is done right there. I mean, some of the
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
speaking of roundhouses, I recently did a video about roundhouses. I went down to, well, I've done a couple recently. Uh, I think one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to roundhouses is that people think they're for storing engines, and they're not. Even back in the steam days, it's not that they had to stay, like you keep your car in a garage, you don't want your car out in the elements. It's not like that especially for diesels, that the roundhouse is a place where they work on the engines. And I think that's where a lot of people get that wrong. I get a lot of people that think, as an engineer for CSX, that I show up and I go into the roundhouse, or I pick my own engine, or and
You got the little remote.
Right, I know I do that. Sometimes I'll get off the engine and I'll take my keys and go, work, work. To lock it up. But yes, roundhouses, in engine facilities, they are, get that engine in, get it fixed, get it back out. There's no money to be made storing engines. They want that stuff. And also, it's time. And so you're never going to want to have a crew. Let's say I go on duty at 6 in the morning, going in, opening the garage door, firing up the engine, taking it out, spinning it on a turntable. Like, okay, that's 2 hours right there. So no, especially with diesels, you usually leave them run. And of course, they're trying to watch fuel, but it's better to leave them run. And I'm on duty at 6 o'clock. I get my paperwork, and I'm on that engine at 6:15, and I'm heading down into the yard. We're not going to be wasting time in a roundhouse or spinning engines on a turntable. So, I like to, like, that's one thing about these tours. They will teach you that the roundhouses are a busy place of men working all the time. It's not for storage.
Right.
But the museums are for storage.
Yeah. Yeah. When I worked on the railroad, I spent most of my time in the Roundhouse working on the.
Okay.
Well, we didn't have steam; we had diesel back then, but
That was McKeesport or the Moncon, right?
Moncon, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I spent many hours in the Roundhouse there, grinding down the commutator on the generator of the locomotive,
All right.
getting soaking up all that mica dust.
Yeah. Did you ever see the video where I actually flew the drone over the Moncon?
Yeah,
Roundhouses?
I saw that. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
amazing.
and I think Carnegie Mellon uses it now.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, that area, here's something a lot of people don't know. A lot of that area, this was crazy. There was a lot of land that got bought by Uber. And you're thinking, Uber, wait a minute, Uber, that's a paper company. It's just, no, they were testing a lot of the autonomous. They wanted to try getting into the autonomous vehicle business, and so a lot of that CMU stuff was also that whole area. Uber had its own facilities down there where they wanted to try testing autonomous cars. So, yeah, just I'm filled with useless information there.
it's interesting information, but it's not useless.
Yeah. But yeah, I love showing roundhouses today and all the different uses you can.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, all the different uses in 2022 of roundhouses. They're so neat to look at, and a lot of people preserve them pretty well.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It is nicer when it's a museum like Strasburg, like Steamtown. Now, have you ever been to Age of Steam out in Sugar Creek, Ohio?
No, I haven't been there. No.
Okay, that's probably going to be a 2023 trip for me, but that's supposed to be a phenomenal place of all steam engines.
Where
does not connect.
What part of Ohio is that?
Sugar Creek, and I got allergy season going on. I've never been there, but they say it's actually like it doesn't even connect to another railroad.
Oh, really?
That the trains have to be brought in on trucks or something.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So Nathan has a question for you there.
All right. It's kind of hard for me to see.
Would it be easier to drive a cab forward than a regular steam engine?
Okay, that's a great question. So I've talked about the MP15 and SW1500 switchers, where for the Union Railroad they always ran things cab forward because the visibility is so much better. And people are like, hey, he's running that engine backwards, but that's how they run, is for better visibility. So I would think that running a steam engine cab forward would be better. Now, another thing that, up in Tom, were you ever up in Greenville?
Greenville? No, I don't believe so.
Okay, up in Greenville is the Bessemer and Lake Erie had. They have one of those O10 tubes, and the big O10 tubes, and you can actually go in it. And one thing you'll notice when you're in a steam engine is the visibility. Your window is only this big,
right?
And that's why if you watch those old videos, the engineer had his head out,
right?
Because your window's so small. And yeah, so maybe at Strasburg, people get a chance to go onto the cab of a steam engine and say, wow, how did they see? And of course, you needed like a fireman at the other side. And then plus, the longer, the engine, it's like you could probably hit a car and not even realize that you did it because the engine's so long.
Yeah, all you're seeing is the boiler.
Right. And another thing would be all that smoke in your face.
Right.
And now, a few years back, I went to Savannah, Georgia. And it was only like an 040. Okay, I mean this thing, and all we did was go around on the turntable, maybe do like a quarter mile and come back, and I got to ride in the cab. And first of all, Savannah, Georgia, as you know, is hotter than hell to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you go into I was on a steam engine, and you got to wear the bib overalls and everything, and I forget what the temperature was. I think it was like 120 degrees on the engine or something in the cab, and I was literally dehydrating so quickly that, I mean, you start to get delusional, and I mean, it was only like 20 minutes, and I remember I was so dehydrated, like my shirt was absolutely soaked, and I was with Teresa at the time, and I texted her. I was like, "You got to go back to bring me another shirt," because we were staying right by there, because my shirt was literally just 20 minutes and a 040, and your whole body completely sweats out. I was so dehydrated, I bought a bottle of water from the concession stand, paid for it, and left without the bottle of water because I was so dehydrated I couldn't think straight. So, yeah, I think at Strasburg there are opportunities.
Yeah.
To ride in the cab.
Yeah.
So
I think most of the places they where they have the train rides, they also have the cab rides available too.
Yes. So you better hydrate before you go to the cab. And just that heat, you've never experienced anything like just seeing, you can watch a video and see the heat or see the flames, but until you're actually standing there, and yeah, it's unlike anything you've ever felt before. And I mean, I thought I had my like a little GoPro type thing. I thought it was going to melt. Just everything. You just feel like anything rubber is going to melt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it does get hot there in Savannah. That was our first stop in 2019. We went there. Yeah. That's a nice place.
Yep. So every time I get, I work at CSX and I get on one of these new Gevos, and it's got air conditioning that'll actually freeze you within like 2 minutes. Turn the air conditioner on, it'll freeze you. I'm grateful. Those guys that drove the steam engines, they were a tougher breed of men than I'll ever be. I mean, that was that's why their life expectancy was like 25 or something.
Yeah.
So.
So Heath had a question for Sparky. When is the pre-meet? So what's the pre-meet, Sparky?
That's a good question.
I know Sparky's going to be there Friday afternoon, taking a train ride.
Yeah.
We're probably in the caboose. I think because when we was at Steamtown, we got together the night before, the Friday night, at the hotel, and sat there, until they kicked everybody out.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Cab rides in steamer are pretty cool. Yes, hot to see the work involved in operating a shay will make your jaw drop. Yeah. Yeah, I saw your video when you was in the shay.
Yeah. Now, you saw shays, you said you went to Cass, right?
Right, yeah.
Can you tell me about that? I've never experienced. Can you tell me some of what Cass Scenic Railroad's like?
Well, the day that we went, it was rainy. So we spent a lot of time dodging the raindrops. But anyway, it's like a 5-hour train ride. They give you a box lunch take with you, and you go up the mountain, up to Bald Knob, and it takes about almost 3 hours to get up there. And I think they had 2 switchbacks on the way up. Get there up at Bald Knob, and you stay up there for about a half an hour or so. When we got up there, the air was like pea soup, so we could we could only see about 3 foot in front of us, so it wasn't a good view. But I, from what other people were saying, you could see, all through West Virginia from that area, because it's one of the highest spots in West Virginia. And then on the way back, you stopped at one of the old camps, and for bathroom break and some additional refreshments, and you got a pretty good view of it. And then as you're coming back, they show the maintenance facility, and they go really slow on the way back and tell you about all the locomotives that they have there. But they have quite a few shays there. You could stay at some of the houses. That's part of the ride. It's a little expensive. We stayed at one of the ski resorts up in the mountains while we was there. And is
it standard gauge?
It's narrow gauge.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But they have some pretty impressive shays, and I show usually on my introduction to the live stream. I didn't play it today. I played one of my old ones, but we was in the first car. They had the shay was pushing up the mountain, and you got to see the headlight, the front of the shay, the smokestack right there. You get to look at the engineer and the conductor, depending on what side you were staying on. But they are pretty impressive. I like the geared locomotives. I've always liked them. I have a Shay, a Heisler, and what's the other one? Climax in HO. So that it was really something else to go there. One of these days we're going to go again, and hopefully the sun will be shining when we do.
Okay. All right. Did you get? I can't see if your viewers had sent any more questions or anything.
Okay.
Yep, there we go.
All right. Yeah, if you could open up YouTube in a different browser and look at the chat if you need to. If anyone gets the opportunity to go do a cab ride, do it. You will never forget the power and sound and smells. Wow. Yeah, and we had rain jackets on, and after we got home from vacation, the pockets were full of soot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. From the smokestacks. Yeah.
Huh. Very interesting.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions, ask them now. Put a Q or question mark in front of it, so either DJ or I could answer some questions here.
Okay, so I think I see on your screen what locomotives I like to drive.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a great question, and and Tom, I think you and I might have talked about this. It's the rail fans know more about the engines than engineers. I mean, it is so funny. I'll never forget I always go to the model train conventions or whatever, in Monroeville.
Uh-huh.
And a guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, look at this," and he shows me his cell phone, and I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, look," and I'm like, "Okay, it's a CSX engine." He's like, "Yeah, but," but he was like, "This is the new Tier 3 or Tier 4." I'm like, "It's facing west." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always say I can look at an engine and tell you which way it's facing. That's it. We don't count the radiators or the it's but I do like. I've been on. I think I'll say it was CSX 3397. Give me a second. Actually, I might have my paperwork from last trip. Actually, I'll let you entertain the crowd for a second.
Okay.
Paperwork.
Yeah. Yes, he really does drive a locomotive. He's an engineer for CSX.
All right. It's coming back. Okay. Yeah, I was the last trip I was on They changed the train IDs of our trains. Our coal trains are now C trains. So we
Okay.
are the C700 of the third. One thing I like to teach is so they're calling all the coal trains begin with the letter C. Then you'll have a 3-digit designation. This was a 700, and the last 2 digits are the date of the train, and that was
Okay.
on the third. So it was a C700 of the third, and you want to do that because there might be a C700 of the second that didn't run or ran late, and you may have two trains. You don't want to get them confused, so that's why there's always an ID on it. So we had CSX 3078. And the first thing that I can tell you is there are cameras and there are cell phone detectors in almost all of the CSX engines. And one of the most common questions people ask me, or hey, can you film a day at work? And the answer is going to be no. Uh, Ever since I forget what year that was, I think California, there was the big wreck, and the FRA said no electronic devices. So before we step onto the engine, we don't put our cell phone on airplane. We shut it off completely because when we come into the cab, it's like a little dome about this big, and there's actually LEDs and there's cameras like directional cameras, and we call them sniffers, and they can detect a cell phone. And so, yes, we are not allowed to have a cell phone. Only time we're allowed to use our cell phone is if we are stopped and we are calling you like the dispatch or mechanical or like one of the help desks. So, yeah, that I can tell you. But that CSX engine 3078, that this whole new bunch of engines that we got, they are beasts. Okay, and I don't know how many horsepower it is. We don't really go by that. I know you guys know more than we do. All I can tell you is they can pull. They really can pull. Uh, and so a lot of people say, okay, well, with that big of engines, do you are you afraid of ripping the train? And actually, I think my personal opinion is the bigger the engine, the slower it's going to start. You got to remember there's no gas pedal. We are 8 notches, and they will click 8 times. And even in that first notch of throttle, we're probably not even moving. If I got an 18,000-ton coal train, first notch, with two of these engines, we're probably not moving. So then I'll put it in the second notch and it'll start moving. And you start these big trains one car at a time. So that's why we don't rip them. So yeah, they are a beast, but they are comfortable. They have good heat, good air conditioning, and that's probably my favorite engine to run. My favorite engine to model is like I like the first generation of diesel. I like Elcos, and I'm hoping actually in June on my way up towards Canada that if I get up to northern Pennsylvania that I might be able to see some of those Elcos that are roaming up there. So that would be pretty cool. So Tom,
Okay.
where'd you go? I don't see
Yeah, I got
me.
you up on the screen right now. There's another question.
Okay.
While you're
Oh,
talking, I'll let you be up on
okay.
screen. Any particular
All right.
part of the route that you dread most, like high difficulty to control the trains?
Okay. So um, when I am on the local, when I'm on a local out of Aliquippa, it's only a 10-mile long branch. Now, because it's a branch line, the speed is 10 miles an hour. And you're thinking, okay, how hard can this be? Um, all I could say is I don't know what Lewis and Clark were thinking when they when they made the path because there's nothing flat. Uh, I actually have a friend that took some video and some photos, and when I watched it back, it does look like a roller coaster. So it's 10 miles per hour, and it's like a 10-mile branch. This is actually where they just built this new what's called a cracker plant up at Monaca, and not Nabisco, but actually it's going to be where they turn natural gas into plastic pellets. It's pretty much like a 2% grade getting up there. So the other customers are going to be a couple chemical places. So we got tank cars, but the last stop is gypsum drywall. And so we go up there. we drop off our empties, we pick up our loads, and now we're running with two GP38s, two GP40s, but the grade coming out. Now let's just say I have a total of 12 cars. How hard can 12 cars be? Okay, 12 cars. That sounds like nothing. 12 loaded cars, but it is so much of a hill that, and I got to keep it at 10 mile an hour. And there's a road crossing. We got to be prepared to stop at this road crossing because people fly through it all the time. The public sucks. So I don't even start trying to move unless I have about 7 to 10 pounds of brakes, even just starting to go. And once you start going, you come around this bend, and then it just drops. And so I try to keep my speed about 6 or 7 miles an hour. So I got two GP40s, and I got 72 pounds of independent pressure, and I got 10 pounds of brake on these 12 loaded cars. How hard can this be? And this train is pushing me down the hill. And I got to 11 pounds, and it's still, now my speed's still picking up. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I am at like 14, 15 pounds, 17 pounds of pressure. Normally 5 to 8 pounds will stop a train. I got 17 pounds of brake pressure, on the train. Plus I'm, feathering my independent, trying to get this thing, and I'm trying to hold it at 7 mile an hour, and it is still pushing me down a hill. That is the area that I dread the most. That will give you the white palms, and that will stick your underwear in your butt cheeks. So yes, yeah. The expression used to be, "How much air do you use?" And it's like, "How much of your underwear is in your butt cheeks?" A little bit more on. So yes, that whole area, there is nothing flat. I know most of the railroad people think it's flat, but no, there are some serious grades.
Okay, here's another one here. How far west do you actually go?
Okay, so I'm in Pittsburgh now. I've been doing this for 24 years. I have been qualified, and I used to drive my car up to Newcastle, Pennsylvania, and then from there, I used to work all the way to Willard. Now, if anyone knows where Willard is, would be. We weren't far from Cedar Point, which is my favorite place on earth. You know what Cedar Point is. But I have gone as far out to Toledo, that way west. That was the furthest west that I've ever been. Now, whenever my daughter was born in 2006, I decided I want to be closer to home, and so I was able to get the seniority to work, closer to the Pittsburgh area, and I haven't been out that way since basically 2006. So that's as far west that I've gone.
All right.
But yeah, I've been qualified about 1,000 miles of territory in my career. 1,000 miles. Some of it's bike trails now, and some of it we gave off to the Allegheny Valley Railroad. They have some of the track that used to be CSX. So,
Okay, here's one from Nathan. Okay.
All right.
Do other diesels drive different than old ones? Also, how does it work when another railroad needs you, like Amtrak or any other railroad?
Okay, so the first question, how do other diesels drive different than the old ones? It's called dynamic braking. So you have two types of braking on the engines. Okay, we'll just talk about the engines. You have what's known as an independent, and that is a lever, and you could just go like this, and this pushes the brake pad against the wheel, and it's just simple like that. But dynamic is, and you'll see the radiator grills, on the engines. I try to describe it almost as if you're trying to pedal a bicycle and someone's standing on your, put their foot on your tire, and you're trying to pedal. And so yes, you can pedal, but it just gets harder and harder. And that's only like way I can describe what dynamic braking is like. It is the resistance on the wheel spinning like electronically. It almost looks like a toaster, like the inside of a toaster grid. Now the SD40s, the GP48s, all that old EMD stuff, they had dynamic braking. Now, let's just say I have a 10,000 ton mixed freight train and I got two SD40s and I'm coming down a grade and I'm in dynamic braking, and it doesn't click like a throttle. The dynamic, we go 1 through 8 and watch our amperage. So I could be coming down a hill with the old engines, and I am in 8th notch of dynamic, and I might just be coming down maybe like 1 mile per hour every minute or so. And I'm never going to get this train stopped. But these new engines, you put the dynamic on, these two big, you get two of these big ES 44s or whatever, you got an 8th notch of dynamic, and you will be licking the windshield. I mean, that is a beast. And so, if you remember, it doesn't seem like that long ago you would see a lot of engines on a train. And it was like, hey, say they got like 6 engines on that engine, 5 engines on that train. And now, why is there only like 1 engine on that train, or one one up front, one in the back? It's because these new engines, they're ridiculous with how much they can pull and how powerfully they can stop. So you don't need it. In fact, CSX had stored hundreds. If you watch that Cumberland video, I know I didn't get that great of a shot, but you will see hundreds of engines in storage, because with these new ones, you don't need a lot.
So it's a lot of power, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's another one. Let me see. Okay, Heath always has some unusual questions. Which locos have the best bathrooms?
All right, so this is a true story. People always say, hey, what's the difference between a GP38-2 and a GP38-3, or SD40-2 and a -3-2-3? Honestly, -3, in my personal opinion, is we have new bathrooms. Jeff, I don't know if you have them. We have these commercials it was called bath fitters, where they would just take like fiberglass and almost make, instead of you ripping out your tub and shower,
just cover it up.
It's just fiberglass. Yes, that's these new engines. We just got a nicer porta potty. So if it's a -3, the nicer bathrooms, but they're all still porta potties. And I don't understand 99% of the guys I work with, because like personally, I don't like graffiti and I absolutely hate vandalism. But almost every bathroom has something, either the graffiti, the vandalism or graffiti inside of every bathroom. It could be a brand new engine, and you just sit there and you read like, shouldn't you guys just be going in here to go to the bathroom? Who brings a black felt pen to go? It's like, come on, man, hurry up! You got to go to the bathroom. Like, what are you in there writing? I've never done it.
No wonder they're never on schedule, huh?
You don't know who did it. You always hope, hey, it's 24 years, I've never seen my name, I've seen everyone in management's name, written on there. Some funny stuff, but yeah, that's a bathroom question.
Okay, here's one from Sparky. Do you go past virtual rail fan cameras, and do you wave? What about kids close to the tracks waving? Do you give them a toot or two?
Okay, 100% yes. The first thing is virtual rail cam, and it's Falston, which would be up by Beaver. I think it's called Falston Flagstop, and there's a bed and breakfast and the camera up there, and I want to say that's Terry Stewart. If anyone's watching this knows, that's probably it. So yes, I'm always going to wave. I don't know if it picks up if he has a microphone there. So if you pick up me honking, I should be the ambassador for CSX because I'm always, it don't matter if it's a guy, woman, kid, anyone. You do this. I'm going to give you a horn toot. And I tell people, I was that little kid. I was that little kid that, I drove my mom crazy. I was a kid like, Mom, stop the train, or Mom, stop the car. It's I had to look out the window to see if there was trains there, and I had the cousins in Bloomfield, and we'd I was little. They'd take me to Bloomfield and overlook the Conrail tracks, and that was actually Pittsburgh and Lake Erie, and Chessie both ran parallel growing up there. So yeah, I will always be the one that gives back, and because that part of you doesn't go away. But I am the minority in that because yes, some engineers will do it, but you know, I'm more rail fan friendly.
There you go. Thank you for that. I'm glad you do that. Okay,
Yeah.
here's another one. Do you run through sand patch? Dave Piper wants to
Yes.
know.
Hey, Dave. Um, so I haven't been through sand patch, and I've talked about this in my video about can snow derail a train. If you've ever watched that, uh, PTSD is real. Uh, I had run over sand patch, and that is, for those that don't know, it's between Connellsville. You go up to Sand Patch and down to Cumberland. Once you leave Connellsville, it's uphill. There's there it just it never levels off until you get to Sand Patch, and then you come down. You'll come down. There is a little bit what we call the sag, and then it drops back down to Cumberland. There's no room for error. Now, this was also before a lot of these big engines, so there was times that we had 4 or 5 engines on these trains, and I have talked about this. We had manned helpers at the time, and I have a motto, and I keep forgetting to get this on a shirt. It says, "Nothing good happens on the mountain," because nothing good happens on the mountain. There's nothing there, but you have mountain, track, cliff, Castleman River, or Youghiogheny River, depending on where you're at, and you can get stuck out there. Sand patch. If you don't control your train at the top of the hill, you're not going to control your train going down the hill. And so I ran that. I'm trying to think of when, like up until 20. I think it was 2012. I was. Long story short, it was snowing really hard, and I could not even get off my street. I called off weather. I was like, "There's no way I can get to work." The guy behind me on the roster, he took the train, and they had to run away. Um,
Oh man.
and so, yeah, that was 118 out of 130 coal cars splattered on the mountain. They There was no one ever held accountable for that, and I really shouldn't even, I won't talk too much about that. Um, but those were glad that they did not get hurt, and I was supposed to be on that train, and so you have like that like what they call it, like survivor's guilt or whatever. Um, and then I was on the train after that when they started cleaning things up, and the situation that we had um, was probably the scariest. I'm not a very religious man, but I said the rosary the whole way up the mountain because my last car on my train was poison inhalation hazard, and that means one whiff and you die. Uh, we do carry stuff like that. It was the last car on my train. I was not going to be able to make it up the hill because my engines had died, uh, and I wasn't going to make it. I was the first train, so you couldn't even see the tracks. You couldn't see the rail. It was solid ice, and all I know is if I would have stopped, I would have slid backwards, and there was a train behind me, and we would have wiped out the town of Hindman, and probably killed a lot of people. And I had a guardian angel with me because we were the first train. There was trains that were parked along the. This was a bad snowstorm, and the railroad was shut down for a while. So we had to drop off other crew members, and I actually had an engineer that was riding with me, and he kept going back and restarting that second engine, and it would run for about 2 minutes, and just enough to get us up the hill at 2 miles per hour, and then it would shut down. And he did this. Derek Heinbaugh as a guardian angel, and he must have restarted this thing 30 times in a snowstorm to keep us making it over that mountain at 2 mile per hour. And I just said, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I just, like I said, it could have been one of those days where it ended really bad. And, but now things have changed. Like these new engines, like most trains now, we have DP. So we'll have an engine on the back and an engine on the front. And I hear guys are having no problems making the mountain. I think some people learned from that. I remember when I called the conductor right after it happened, and he said, DJ, your life does flash before your eyes, because when his train was a runaway, you're only allowed to do 20 mile an hour, with that train. And I think he hit like 60 before it derailed. And he's, there's nothing they can do but just sit there and say, you can't jump. People are like, oh, you should have jumped. You should have jumped. Well, you don't. It was pitch black at night, and they don't know where they're going to jump. Are they going to jump and land in grass, or are they going to, jump and land somewhere that would, kill them that way? So, I always say there is angels watching over the railroad. It is all the angels of deceased railroaders that watch over, and because a lot of things could be a lot worse, and so there's a little bit of divine intervention that keeps a lot of our railroads safe, especially in the
you
weather.
could probably spend hours telling these stories here, huh?
Yeah, that's what the YouTube channel is for.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with DJsTrains, go check out my YouTube channel. I got a lot of stories. That one was Can Snow Derail a Train?
Yeah. So here's another one. Okay, we'll get off the gory details here, but I have a question for you after this one. How far have you traveled into West Virginia?
Hey, you know what? I just not this past year, but the year before, they qualified us from Knoll into Grafton, and I got to run on the former Monongahela Railroad. So when we leave Knoll, boom, you are right on Norfolk Southern tracks. And I had to get qualified on Norfolk Southern rules, and everything's different. People are like, oh, you could just go from railroad to railroad. No, running on Norfolk Southern, it's a different language. It literally is like going from French to German. They speak a different language. You think, hey, we do things one way on CSX. It's completely different on Norfolk Southern. So it took a while to learn their rules. And I'm trying to remember how many miles I'm going to say. I'll just say like 60 miles on Norfolk Southern, and then we come back onto CSX all the way for like the next 30 miles into Grafton. Really scenic. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Putting your channel up there.
So, yeah, the Grafton run, the fastest you're going to go is 25 miles per hour for most of it. You can pick it up to 30, like as you get closer to Grafton. There are three things. Can you tell me there's only three scenic things to see on this whole route. Do you know what they are, Tom?
I have no idea.
Coal mines. Coal mines are everywhere. Dams and power plants. That's all this whole line is. Coal mine, dam, power plant. Coal mine, dam, power plant. And eventually I want to take the drone down there. It's just so remote, some of these places. But, I have a big pet peeve with Walters. Only, everyone knows my answer. I hate that everybody has the Walters New River Mining on their layout, okay? And all these coal mines that and coal loaders, whatever you want to say, the coal loaders, they don't really look like New River Mining. they will look more like what's that? Like the flood tower? What's that called in HO? I think you guys. Well, we might have an N scale, but like the modern flood loader or something that Walters makes. There's some like that. Uh,
I'm
but
not sure what
yeah,
you're on.
but there's a lot of cold. Like it's just the land that time forgot, and so seeing all this, rusted sidings and conveyor belts, and these just different wild looking loaders where this whole area was nothing but 100 miles. I'll just say 100 miles of coal and power plants. Some are still active, some are switched to natural gas, some are just but there's so many. So yeah, that'll be a pretty cool video. I'm probably gonna have to make for
Wow.
you guys.
So I have a
Yeah,
question for you. How
shoot.
often do you carry hazmat material, and what are they?
Well, it depends. If you're on a mixed freight, it's every train. Uh, I'm working out of Knoll, which is 100% coal. Well, 90% coal. Sometimes we get like a salt train or something. The local is pretty much 100%. And so people like if you ask a model railroader, what hazmat are you carrying on your train? They really don't know. They'll have tank cars. Like, well, what's in it? Like, they don't know. And it's like I have a couple videos on tank cars because Athearn made some really really good tank cars, and I have them in one of my review videos. And we carry like you know when we're going to up that branch. I'm trying to think some of the stuff that we would carry. Um, because so we have BASF and Nova are the two companies. Uh, we actually carry like liquid latex or something. I don't know. We it's so many different things that you just don't even think about are in tank cars, and I think that is a modeling opportunity that people really don't talk much about is like what's in it. You just think oil or um, you know. What do you think? What do you think's in most tank cars, Tom? What would you say?
I have no idea what's in them. I whenever I see one and I'm not sure, I look at the lettering that they have on it, look up, what they're supposed to be hauling. But a lot of the stuff around here is like jet fuel. But when I go up
Oh,
17, the tankers are carrying jet fuel. But that's
okay.
about all I see. But I have
Well,
no
I'll teach
idea.
your yeah, I'll teach your viewers something on the placard.
Uh huh.
Okay, if you're a hazmat, and I've done videos, about hazmat and placement. It is a pain trying to figure out like where you can put a certain tank car. So you're going to have a a placard. It's a diamond shape. It has to number one. You need four of them. It has to be on all four sides of the car. If it's not, if one fell off, can't move that car. It has to be on all four sides, and it will tell you. It's going to say maybe like flammable, corrosive, explosive, and then it's going to be a number 1 through 9. And the smaller the number, the bigger the boom. So a class 9 we can actually have against the engine. That might just be, um, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Rubbing alcohol.
Uh
Okay, rubbing alcohol is not. It's not going to kill you. It's going to stink. And take your decals off. Take your paint off. But then you'll a class 1. Um, yeah, you want to have this thing buried. At least 6 deep. That's going to be the big boom.
yeah.
And some stuff might just be they'll call it like a marine pollutant. If you don't want to derail this thing into a creek and kill all the fishies. So, um, and it's not always liquid. Tank cars carry gas too. So, that's another thing. People always think it's liquid, and it can be in gas form. So
When I lived in Maryland, I saw a lot of trucks carrying nuclear waste. Do railroads ever carry nuclear waste?
we did up until 9/11. Yeah, we if you remember this, what's the mountain? Yucca Mountain or something like that, or they were supposed to. We actually ran like one. I was still a new guy, and we did run. Okay, hold on one second. Turn my phone up. Stop it. we, I think we did run one nuclear train, and then 9/11 happened, and they're like, yeah, we might need to reconsider that. But that was supposed to be big business.
Yeah.
That I don't see it in my area. I can just tell you that I don't see nuclear in my area.
Oh, okay.
So
All right. There's quite a bit of questions here.
okay.
Another one from Heath. Are you ever amazed that someone puts you in control of something so massive?
Okay, so yes, uh, and the thing is, um, my ID is 2410884. I get paid as much as the next engineer, whether it's the best engineer on the railroad or the worst. We get paid the same. They don't say, hey, we got a big engine, big train, give it to DJ and something easy. No, like they yeah. I am not going to say anything negative about. I'm not going to say anything negative about some of my coworkers.
No rants, huh?
No, always keep it positive.
Okay.
So, yes, I've had some moments where uh, you look back and you're like, wow, look at the size of this train. You look at your paperwork and you're like, this is a big train. So yes, it does. Uh, you know, the mixed freights are the ones they'll get your attention. I'm in the like if I have a coal train, it's about 130, usually about 130 loads of coal is 18,000 tons, 6,600 feet basically, and it's just I've been doing it so long, it just it doesn't phase you. I mean, you're supposed to look back every few minutes to make sure that you don't have stuck brakes or anything like that. But um, after this many years, the novelty does kind of wear off. But if you are on a big mixed freight and you realize, man, I got some stuff, and please keep it on the rail. Yeah. So it does. There's a couple days that will like, okay, yes, I am amazed at the size of some of these trains.
Okay. I got a comment for some of the people that are asking the question a couple of times. I have your questions in a queue. We're just going in line
Oh, okay.
while DJ answers
All right.
them. So we'll get to them eventually. Okay. Do you interact with short lines or do you just drop at sidings?
Okay. So I have a lot of inside jokes. When I work at Aliquippa, so you have the CSX main line and we have a yard. We interchange with two railroads there. And I've covered them in some of my videos. The first one is the Kelowna Railroad, and they're like usually coal. They take the coal, go around the bend down a hill, and then they unload the coal into barges. And I think they have the ability also to go. It's rail to river, and so we deal with them a lot. In fact, the west end of our yard, for some reason, they're the ones that control it, and so we actually have to call Kelowna, say, hey, is it okay for us to use the west end of our own yard? But it is what it is. But also off of that yard, we interchange with the A and S. Do you remember that one, Tom?
A and S? No.
Yes.
Aliquippa and Southern?
Okay.
Is
You
that?
got it.
All
Okay.
right.
So the Aliquippa and Southern, and I think they, had the same. I think they used to have a Moncon engine up there from,
Yeah,
uh,
Aliquippa and Southern was a sister railroad of ours. We used to exchange stuff all the time with them. Also,
yes,
Cuyahoga Railroad in Cleveland.
yes. But the Aliquippa and Southern, that is, what do we give them? Sand or salt? I'm trying to think. What are we giving them? I'm kind of blanking. We give them covered hoppers of we'll go with sand. And so it's like every day, we give them some loads and then we pull the empties. And I've never seen them. I've never seen them. I'm like, when do they work? And I compare them to graffiti artists. I've never seen someone out there spray painting a building or spray painting a car.
They're
It just
invisible,
shows
huh?
up. They're invisible. I have this running joke that they are invisible. So yes, we do every yard. Like people don't realize how much the class ones. Remember, class ones handle the long runs from point A to point B. The class twos, I don't think really have any class twos really around us, but the short lines, they're going to hit all the branch lines that the big class ones sold off. And so, when we're at Connellsville, we interchange with the Southwestern Pennsylvania and the Wheeling and Lake Erie. So, that's, we don't see them that much. It's like they come in, drop off, set off, go. And actually, I think there's a thing with the yard masters to like, hey, let's just get these guys in, out, because they're going to be on short time. When you get up to Demler, we interchange with the Union Railroad, and we see them every day. We have to talk to them. We'll have to get permission to. We got the Coke business. The Union Railroad brings the Coke, and we give them back the empties, and then we'll give them miscellaneous because they service Edgar Thompson's steel mill. So we see them every day. And then we do the yard job. Well, it's a local now. We go to Glenwood and we interchange with the Allegheny Valley Railroad. And we hear them on the radio. Used to be, we'll just say third shift. We would go on the radio channel like, hey, CSX to AVR. We got some cars. Like, yeah, just sit on the siding. We're in the clear. And so we'll just, I don't see them, but I'll hear them on the radio just to get permission. I already talked about Aliquippa, and then you go up to Newcastle, and we interchange with the Buffalo and Pittsburgh, and especially because we have the BP coal trains, so we always see their engines, and that's a pain in the butt train. We're dropping off a load of coal. We're moving our engines out of the way. They're coming in with their engines, grabbing the coal and coming back, and vice versa. And so we interchange with them. And then also up in Newcastle, if you watched my video recently about Casgro, they're serviced by the Newcastle Industrial Railroad. That's another one you don't really see them, but all of a sudden, it's like come up here and there's they've delivered cars when you weren't looking. So yes, that's why I get frustrated when I see people having op sessions or layouts and they're using a wide body to set one car off at an industry. I'm like, that's not how it works. You're not going to stop a 2-mile long freight train to set off one car, one box car. That's not going to happen. That's your yard jobs, your locals, and your short lines do all that stuff. So. All right. What other questions you got?
Okay, so this is going back a while, so you know how far behind we are in the questions. There is a video on YouTube of DJ getting out his loco to say hello to a rail fan.
Yes. Okay. So Gabe, you have to go. Like, I was messaging him today on Instagram. I'm gonna say it's GT. think it's Gabe Thomas. I'm pretty sure. GT almost looks like the Grand Trunk logo. GT Railfan, I think it is. This kid, he is making fantastic videos, Railfan videos. He is traveling. He lives up by the Erie area, and I just said when I go up to Canada, beginning of June, I want to try to stop. I want to see this kid, his channel blow up because he's putting the work in, and so yeah, I wish I could top of my head, but I think it's like GT Railfan or something. Uh, he happened. It was funny. I was just coming back on the local or the yard job. We just went down, dropped off a car or something like that. I think I was coming back late, and and it was a young kid rail fanning, and so I hear that's DJ, and I'm like, hey, so I had. I mean that's crazy. I'm just an average guy, with a extraordinary job, and so where I was coming to the yard, and I was going to be blocked anyway from leaving, and I tied my engine down, and I walked over and I said, hey, leave the video camera rolling. I'll talk with you, answer any questions. I'm probably, like I said, the most rail fan friendly because, I'm the same kid, just in a somewhat adult body.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do want to meet up with him, and I think you guys are going to love his videos. He's definitely got a lot of talent, but he's only got like a couple thousand subscribers right now. But he should blow up because he's doing everything right. So
okay, Sparky just put his link up in the description or up in the chat, so there it is.
There it is.
Okay.
Is it Rain? Wait.
GT Railfan Productions. Okay.
No. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, GT Railfan. Let me see. So like I said, we were talking on Instagram today. Let's see.
Yeah, Sparky says 2.8,
yes.
2,800 followers. There you go.
Yeah, GT Railfan Productions. Follow this kid. He's putting the work in, and just a really nice kid. So I said, hey, maybe I'll get a chance to see you, and the DJ Snotted job is just fun.
It's just fun.
You know what? It's a job when you call me at 3:00 in the morning. Okay, so I know I shouldn't talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it. Last week, I was kind of struggling to get some sleep, and I looked at the board. I'm like, okay, I'm like second in line, and they only have like one train planned for like the next 6 hours. I took some melatonin gummies to help me fall asleep, and I start tossing, turning, and then I go out and that phone ring. I go, no, and it's like CSX calling. I'm like, oh no, and that's part of the job that sucks. Is I'm not going to make a stand-up routine, but if I did, I would compare working for CSX is like having a wife that is 9 months pregnant all the time, and you're afraid to leave the house, and you're always thinking, like, is it time? Is it time yet? Like, because you can't, when you're first out, we call it being first in line. You're hostage, and you're afraid to go far because when that phone rings, you got 2 hours, and it takes me an hour to get to Knoll, and so they pay you for the inconvenience of your life, and that's what's not fun. So, what else you got?
Long hours, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the oldest locomotive you have driven?
Okay, so I know I look 20, okay, but I'm really 52. I am 52. I know I don't act it, and when I get on an engine that's as old as me, that blows my mind. So if I was born in 1970, and yeah, like I'm getting on these some of these GPs that still have, the paint's chipped off, and you're seeing chessy colors, as, and so when you get on an engine, we have what's called I think we call it like a blue card or something. It's a blue piece of paper, and it'll say, the build date, and it'll say like 1968, 1970, and I'm like, okay, this stuff is as old as me. Why are we still using this? Because, hey, in 2022, they're not making four axles. They're not making General Motors or I'm sorry, yeah, GE is not. It's like trying to buy a new house for under 300,000. They're not making them,
Yeah.
and that it stinks. And the same thing, they're not making these new engines as four axles. Now they tried with those what are those battery operated ones, those gen sets. Okay.
Uh,
those are garbage. Uh, but yes, so a lot of the GP 38s, 35s, 30s, whatever, GP 40s, they're going to be as old as me, and that's I think I was on we had an SW something. I think we had like a SW12 or SW9 or something on a work train years back, and I mean it was really cool. I'm trying to remember which engine that was, and it was really cool to look at and really cool to model. And I'm like, yeah, this thing's got to go to the scrapyard. It's outlived its life expectancy with this at Strasburg.
yeah. Well, but what if they said that about you? You're
I
the same
know.
age.
Okay, I know, right? We can retire at 60, and I'm already looking for my exit strategy.
Yeah.
So,
The exit strategy. Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
All right. Here's one
We
last
moved down
question,
to
I think.
Florida.
Yeah. How
All
long
right.
are your shifts? Are you away from the house for weeks at a time, or do you get to return daily?
Okay, so we are union, uh, and the hours of service is 12 hours. And the FRA, the Federal Railroad Administration, they really don't even want you on that engine at 12 hours. I mean, they'd like to see you, and not in a van headed back to your home terminal. But yeah, we cannot do anything after 12 hours. I mean, you are literally, like, let's just say we make it back to the yard, and it's like, okay, we got 10 minutes. Like, we better, move, get it stopped, get your handbrakes, on, tested, turn the engine off, turn over your breakers, have it locked up. You can't do anything after that 12 hours, but get in a van. And then, even then, the FRA is going to be asking you questions. Well, so you tied that train up at 12 hours. Why did you not, tie your I'll just say punch out for 12 hours and 10 minutes? What did you do during that 10 minutes? I mean, they want to know that stuff. So um, I right now have this, my seniority, even after 24 years, is kind of sketchy. I know. Um, but if I work out of Connellsville, I would be in the freight pool where we take the freight trains from Connellsville to Newcastle and stay in the hotel. Same thing when we would go from Knoll to Grafton, we'd stay in the hotel. And I've stayed in the hotel. The longest I've ever stayed in a hotel, I think, was about 48 hours. Uh, they after, like, you don't get paid. The railroad pays for your hotel. You do not get paid until your 15th hour. And then this is for engineers. And then so we get paid from hour 15 to hour 24. Or I'm sorry, actually we work into continuous. But conductors, I think they don't start getting paid till their 16th hour or something, and then all the way until their 24th, and then they go off the clock. There's a disparity between the engineer's contract and conductor's contract. Uh, but yeah, part of my stand-up routine is is we've been in hotels so long that you remember the NASA astronauts, they would give them the little cyanide package in case they didn't make it back from the moon.
Yeah.
Okay, you just take, you can take it, like if you ain't gonna make it back, instead of dying in space, take a cyanide pill. Like I think they give us cyanide pills. Like, hey, you're gonna be in the hotel so long, you might want to. Like you're not coming back. Just end it.
Or you could always say, I'm an engineer, but because I've stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah. I've gone to work clean shaven and come home looking like you, Tom.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's that. Oh, Nathan has one more question. How is the layout coming along, DJ, and how much has changed since I was there?
I don't even know if it's the same layout. I don't think it's the same layout. If you follow me, I must. I got 11 years on YouTube, and I think 20 different layouts. Yeah. So
Okay. One last question.
all right.
What is he looking forward to at Strasburg?
Taking selfies with Sparky.
Yeah.
My selfie game is on point there.
There you go. Rant. DJ Rant. There you go. You have to have a rant.
I'm actually really happy. I really am. We all have our struggles. Man, past couple of years have been tough on every. Past couple of years have been tough on everybody, but I'm really happy. I just feel like I've been putting a lot of work into not just making like good videos. When I get some of this drone footage, dude, I cheesy smile. I'm serious. I get in the car and I got this like, holy crap, I just got this amazing footage. I know what I got, and so I'm so excited to come home and try to edit. And Tom, you understand how long editing takes. Sparky,
Yeah.
you guys, the YouTubers know editing takes hours and hours and hours. And
I've seen some of that drone footage where you came pretty damn close to buildings, trees, power lines.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
notice?
I know you didn't notice it while it was up in the air, but when you were reviewing the footage is when you said, "Oh my goodness."
Yes, the power line down at Portview. I did not see that, and the video when I was up, me and my friend Ron went up to Greenville to the Bessemer and Lake Erie, and the massive Roundhouse is all abandoned. And at the end of that video, I showed you rookie mistake. I was playing with the drone, and there are sensors all around it, and I was trying to get this building. I'm like, okay, let me just back it up a little bit more. Let me back it up a little bit more. I'm like, what is that beeping noise? And then all of a sudden I see tree leaves. I'm like, oh no. And it turns into a lawn boy. Okay. I'm like, oh no. And it landed. It is still green to this day. The propellers still have a tint of green. So I'm loving it. Like I said, I'm very happy and I'm very excited to go to the meet and greets. I'm very appreciative. I really am, and people that made me come up and say hi. Sometimes I'll get comments like, "Hey, I think I saw you at a hobby store. Like, then why didn't you come up and say hi?" So this will just be an opportunity. Here's where I'm going to be.
We're all approachable, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just as excited to meet you, and that you are to meet me. And it was funny. There's a band called the Clarks, and they're a Pittsburgh band, but they've had a lot of big hits. And Dave Minerick, he owned Mercer Junction Hobby Store, which was phenomenal for an O scale. And I went up there with my friend Ron, and he's like, "Wait a minute!" He's like, "You're DJ from DJsTrains." He's like, "I'm a big fan." I said, "You're the drummer for the Clarks. I'm a bigger fan." And it was like, he was excited to meet me. I'm like, no, I'm excited to meet you. So yeah, you never know who's watching the videos,
Yeah.
but yeah, you see, come up and say hi. Let's take some selfies
Yeah,
together.
that's one of the big excitements when going to train shows and stuff like that, and said, "Hey, I see you. I watch your videos on YouTube. I like your videos." We like to hear that stuff.
Yeah, my daughter and I we were at Panera last month, and she was just getting like a muffin or something, whatever, from Panera, and the kid's, I think his name was Justin. He's like, that'll be like, $5. Hey, I love your videos. I'm like, wait, what? Like what? Like, you know, 'cause I don't walk around with a DJsTrains shirt on, anywhere. I usually wear concert shirts and just I live in sweatpants and stuff. And yeah, I'm just hanging out with the kid at the mall, and someone at Panera recognized me. So yeah, you just never know who's watching your videos.
Right.
But one thing you got to say to all the YouTubers, if someone like, if someone has enough courage to put themselves out there to 8 billion people on the planet, they deserve a round of applause and a round of, a lot of respect.
That's
I
right.
get negative comments. We all get negative comments. And what's funny is, I get a negative comment for every video. And then I click on it, and that person has no content. That person that criticizes has never done what I'm trying to do. And that just says a lot,
Yeah.
about the people that. So we all, I don't think there's a single person that hasn't got some really nasty, comment on their video, and then you look and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to let this person affect me because they didn't have the courage to put themselves out there.
Right.
And so when you meet a YouTuber and you think that person put himself out to 8 billion people on the planet, that takes a lot of courage. So I'm proud to meet YouTubers, and so this, like I said, is I'm really looking forward to it. And if I can drive 3.5 hours to go, um, don't let if people are in the Pennsylvania area, come out. Just come out May 20th, May 21st, May 22nd to Strasburg. This could be a once in a lifetime thing for you. You just don't know. Life's not guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. So don't watch the videos afterwards like, oh, I should have went. Just come. Even if it's just to meet Sparky. If he's coming from Canada
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
here and he's putting it all together,
Yeah. It's a chance in a lifetime. Well, a lot of things happened in the past year when Debbie had her accident, and it really changed my perspective on life, changed her perspective on life, because you don't realize how fragile life is. So if you have the opportunity
right.
to do something, do it now, because
Yes.
later on you may not have that opportunity. So if you're anywhere near it, go to Strasburg, go anywhere. Go along to CSS
Yes.
line and Railfan DJ.
Yes. And so it was funny. I think last year, Chris from Go Via or Go Home
Yeah.
on YouTube, I love him. M&M Rails, like there's just some really, really awesome YouTubers up in Canada. And Chris had asked me last year to help out with a virtual train show, and I was more than happy to do that. And then so he sent me an email about a month ago. He's like, "Hey, we're going to do a a meet and greet up here at Otter Valley. Just throw it out there if you ever come to Canada." And I go on Google Maps, and it's like 5 hours. And I said, "Yeah, you know what? Put me in." And I managed to rearrange some things at work, and because life is too short to not travel, and it's putting a lot of this stuff is putting me out of my comfort zone, and if I can get out of my comfort zone, then maybe I inspire other people to get out of their comfort zone, and whatever it is, even in the hobby, try. And I know, Tom, you probably get this comment on your videos where people say, "Oh, I'd like to learn about Arduino, but I'm afraid," or "I want to try doing this, but I'm afraid to try scenery or whatever." And like, you know what? Just try. Just do.
Yeah, you just have to take that first step. Once you take that, that's what I always told my kids when they were growing up. You just have to take that first step, and you're halfway there. That's the biggest hurdle, is that first step. You just have to try. You just have to do it. Yeah. Just do it. Yeah, don't be afraid to do it. Mm-hmm. Just get out there and do it. Go to Strasburg already.
Go to Strasburg, right? And bring business cards.
There you go.
Bring merchandise. The June 4th meet and greet at Otter Valley Train Store in Canada. I got a room at Niagara Falls for Friday night, so I'll be hopefully no problems getting into Canada. And I just this is going to be the year where I try to get out of my comfort zone, travel. I think people might be getting tired of seeing all the trains of Western Pennsylvania, so let me get up to the New York and Canada area. Mini Prince, Chris from Go Via will be there. Sparky will be there. You just, I know that people might be a little bit, hesitant to start their own YouTube channel. If you're watching this, you've never tried, put yourself out there, try it. Just give it a shot. Start when you suck. That's I follow a entrepreneur, Evan Carmichael, who's from Toronto, and he inspired me with a message: you're going to suck, and so start when you suck, because you'll only get better. And I've
it only gets better after the first one. Yeah, you make your mistakes and you learn from it. So
I watched my early videos.
Make those mistakes. And go back and laugh at them. I got a 6-year anniversary coming up, and every time I do an anniversary, I play some of my old videos and see how bad I was in the beginning. Debbie's in here. Okay. She finally came on. She was supposed to come over and get in front of the camera. She's camera shy tonight.
All right.
So I really appreciate you for coming on short notice. I know I commented on your video this afternoon, and I was surprised when you asked me if you wanted me to stop, if you wanted me, if you wanted to come by, and I said, oh hell yeah. So I really appreciate you stopping by and answering questions and helping out with this.
Yeah, like I said, any chance to give back, because the YouTube community has been so great to me. I appreciate every subscriber, every view, and sometimes I'll watch a video and I'll get a shout out on someone else's channel. Like, man, that was kind of humbling. And so any chance that I can to use my channel or whatever I can to help other people. Like I said, that GT Railfan is putting out some of the best Railfan videos I've seen. And I said, I'd love to see this kid blow up, because he's just a nice kid that's doing everything right. So yeah, if you want me on anyone watching this, if you want me on a live show, you can email me at DJsTrains@yahoo.com. And I'll be more than happy to help out. I was actually on call until 6 p.m. tonight. I was, like I said, sitting by the phone. Couldn't go too far, and 1601 hit, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get called to work. Yeah, I'm in. Put me on Tom's Trains and Things.
Well, I really appreciate it. I've been trying to get you on here for a long time. I know I asked you a couple of years ago, and you said, I can't do it right now. I got work on Mondays and stuff like that. But I'm glad you finally made it.
Yeah, now I'm on, like I said, I'm on an extra board, and I have like a Tuesday day off. And so after 6 p.m. the night before, they can't call me. So I can take my melatonin and get a good crazy
Yeah, there
night's
you
sleep.
go.
You have the craziest dreams on this. I dreamt I punched an elk in the face after having too much melatonin. So I don't watch that stuff. But
Yeah, I have to take that to go to sleep too. I hate the strawberry
yeah.
flavored one. I get that every once in a while.
I'm sorry, I like those. So,
They don't work
so
for
once
me.
again, yeah, Tom, we're gonna miss seeing you. It was nice to meet you, and I'm so glad you got a chance to come over to my house. I think that was 3 layouts ago.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I actually got rid of almost all my Union Railroad stuff and a
Oh
lot of my
man.
steel stuff. But it's at my best friend's house, and I was just over there the other day, and I know it went to a good place with someone that's going to appreciate it. Um, so I'm on to the next thing. Modeling mostly Amtrak, and running over CSX and Norfolk Southern, and so more layout progress coming soon with that. And I'll give you a sneak peek to my next big video. It probably won't be this week, uh, but let me ask you, Tom, do you have staging on your layout?
Uh Not really. I have.
Okay.
I, I'm putting a second level up in here, and I put a second
Okay.
track in there where I could possibly put something. And my staging is going to be on the sidings, spread out everywhere. But it's
Okay.
not going to be in just one location.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna do a big video about staging, because not just on model railroads, but do real railroads use staging,
Hmm.
and the difference between, because I think there's a lot of people that may have staging confused with how the real real world works. And, and I got some drone footage that's never been seen before of some staging. Pretty excited about. So that'll probably be my next big video, and that's why I actually posted that question: is do you have staging? And I'll have the results on that one.
Uh,
So that also, I'm going to be working. Maybe I might get a video out this week about double track, and I want to talk about that from an engineer's point of view, about, because I'm seeing a lot of track plans, and I'm seeing people, especially on the curves. Now you're HO,
yeah.
and so most people, when they were doing HO, they had like because I started as a kid with HO. You had like the 18-inch radius, and then you have like a 22-inch radius, and I still see a lot of people, they have like the 4x8 layout, and they'll do like an 18-inch, and then like some straight track, more 18-inch, and then they'll do like a 22 or whatever, and and it doesn't look anything like the prototype railroad. And like I see so much space between double track and in reality. I'll show you. I'm going to show you because I got drone footage. When we go by Station Square in Pittsburgh, and we're going west, the double track, it looks like Cotto Unitrack, because it's super elevated as we come around the curve. And so if I am going west on number 2, now you got to remember, if I'm going west, I'm sitting on the right-hand side. And number 1, let's say there's an eastbound coming. And so we're on his curve. Well, he's going to be slanted. Okay. He's going to, especially in auto rack, he's going to be leaning into me. And it is one of the most sickening feelings, because no, please, 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 please. I'll get up. I'll get up and go stand on the conductor side until that train passes, because that's how close the tracks
too
really
close
are.
for comfort.
Yes, so I'm going to cover that in a double track video, because I think a lot of people need to see how the real railroads have their tracks really close together, but the modelers sometimes miss that. And when you did that video, when you put your layout into your screen with the 4 cameras, I noticed you did it perfectly. You have your tracks perfectly spaced. So, that's kudos to you for understanding how real railroads set up their tracks as close as they can without hitting. So.
And I'm limited in space too, so so that's a good reason. But a lot of modelers like to move it further away so they could, if they have a problem, they get your fingers down in there and put the trains back, put everything back on the track. Yeah, but
well, hey, did I put you over time? I don't.
Oh no. I usually sometimes I go 2.5, 3 hours. So there's no overtime on this one.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to talk with you. It's been too long. So, so that's some of the footage I have coming up.
Okay.
What else?
That'll go right to Tom's head.
Let's see other things that I'm going to be working on. Probably just maybe like another. Another. It's still a little while to go, but I used to get hung up. This is me personally. When I was building a layout, I tried too hard to duplicate the prototype track plan, and like the Union Railroad, it's a spider web. I mean, it is not designed for a loop. I mean, it is just everywhere of industrial track, and it doesn't lend itself good to track planning. And I used to just get frustrated. Like, how can I make this exact? And now I've understood, stop beating yourself up over trying to make things look exact.
Right.
So the video is going to be about capturing the essence of a scene. You don't, like, I know we're our own worst critics, but it doesn't have to be exactly like the prototype. Because when you came into my house, you walked down the steps and you said, I know where I'm at. This is Braddock. This is Monroeville. This is Duquesne. And yes, my Westinghouse bridge was maybe like 1/3 of the size of the prototype, but you thought it was identical. That's that Mandela effect. Your memory is wrong than reality. And so you as long as you can capture the feel of a scene. So that's something I'm going to try in future videos. So is that the message?
You do a good job on it there. Get over here and say hello.
All right.
Okay.
Say hello to everybody and hello to DJ. The camera's right there.
Hey.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Sadie.
Thank you for your prayers.
Right.
All right. There you go, Sadie. I know you want to get down now. Okay.
Yeah.
You had your 10 seconds in there.
Oh, she's adorable. Good. Yeah, I have the world's most annoying cat, but I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
I know I look really tough and masculine, but yeah, I will. I'll wave to a dog. I do. I'm the type of person that says, "Hey, tell your dog I said hi."
Yeah. Well, we talk to the dog all the time, and and when we go out, we say we'll be back, Sadie. Hold down the fort. We'll be back in a little while.
So yeah, unfortunately, I got I don't know where she's at right now. The world's most annoying cat. She ruins voiceovers because she's got the scratching post behind me, and it's as soon as I go to hit record on the voiceover, she'll drop the toy mouse at my feet, or she'll start scratching, and I'm like, okay, you are going down in the laundry room, because she just.
Yeah, that's what Sadie does, but I just ignore it and just leave her in there. I don't do it over.
Yeah.
They know she's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to end this thing. It's about 2 hours now. I really appreciate you for coming by and answering all the questions, being patient with some of Heath's questions. I know he has some super questions every once in a while.
Show your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Show your shirt.
It's Strasburg.
Yes.
I got
May
that.
20, 21, and 22.
Right, May 20, 21, and 22. The link for Sparky's video is in the top of the chat. So if you want to go and check that out and see what's going on, go do it. You probably can get a hotel someplace. Go to Expedia.com. You can get a good.
Yeah, how'd you know? That's what I did.
That's what I always use, Expedia.
Yeah, I just booked my room in Lancaster for Friday the 20th, off of Route 30. I don't know, it's like a sleep comfort. I don't know, some type of hotel. And like I said, it's just me from here on out. And yeah, I was actually thinking. Let me get your thoughts on this. Is I have one of the largest collections of styrene. I had bought out a collection whenever a hobby store was moving, and I have styrene N scale. I mean, I'm talking N scale to G scale. I have G scale styrene, and it's everything from whether it's brick sheet to shingles. And I thought about, you know what? I got some room. Let me get some of this stuff out there, because a lot of people need to learn how to scratch build.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I got all this styrene. It's normally $15 in a store. I'm selling it for $6. I'm not, that's pretty much like what I paid for it. So I want to teach people how to scratch build, and and especially because I'm also teaching people that even though you're modeling in N scale, HO scale brick looks better. And same thing, you're modeling in HO, you can make a G scale retaining wall that, or bridge piers or whatever. Like, don't get hung up saying, well, it's not the right scale. It's what your eyes say looks right. And so I'm probably going to I'll have the car, I'll probably bring some of this styrene because shipping is just kicking everyone's butt right now.
Yeah,
And so
and on that point, you have to exaggerate things to see it real good.
Yeah.
So sometimes bigger is better.
Yeah. So I might. So if you see me, like, hey, you got, I'll be like that shady guy in the parking lot. Hey, you want to buy some styrene? It's like, Craigslist transactions look like drug deals in Sheet's parking lot.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm probably going to bring a couple of the big Tupperwares of styrene and sell it for like $6 each instead of the $15. So so come see me even for that.
All right.
I'll people up. So
go on out to Strasburg, if for nothing else, to get the styrene from DJ. There you go.
Take selfies. Let's take selfies.
There you go. Get a lot of selfies. Talk to everybody that you can. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, eat some of that good food that's there, because they have a lot of good food and a lot of other good stuff to see, other than railroad related, in the Lancaster area. So make it a week. If you can't make it the weekend, make it a week, or make it as many days as you can. You'll have a good time there. So I'm going to put up the end screen. Thanks, DJ. I'm going to get you off camera here. I really appreciate you for stopping by. I'll talk to you again soon. Hopefully I'll be up in Pittsburgh area sometime. Stop up and see you again. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for,
all right, my friend,
for everything.
Thank you, and thank everyone for watching. And and until next time, be safe, and I'll see you guys Strasburg, May 20, 21, and 22.
All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, there you go. Okay, so let's put this end screen up here, and we'll call it a night. I shut the trains off because they quit working halfway through it. And so, and let me look for that. If you haven't done this already, smash that like button. I know there's 41 people here, so smash it. Smash smash that like button if you're still in here and haven't done so already. And super stickers are on the way out, all. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad not too many people use the super stickers anyway. They got super thank yous now. I got an email about the super thank yous and the Twitch style rave where you can redirect your live stream. I've seen that sometime, but I don't know how to get to it. I think you got to do that in a setup, but I'm not sure how you do it once you're already in here. So let me see if I could find this, and if there's any other live streams, I'll redirect you. So let me get into the details and see if I could do it in here. If not, then the hell with it. Okay. Then I'll just put the end screen up on there. And I guess you can't do it. I guess you have to do it before you schedule it or before you get started. Because I don't see it anywhere in here once you do it. So it's pretty lame because you have to know ahead of time where you're going to send your viewers on the live stream. So that sucks. They got to have a way to do it the other way. So let me put this thing on here. Where's the end?
Engineer, where are you headed? Carry me back to Tennessee. Oh, I got a little girl who's been waiting. Promised that she'd marry me. Mister, can we leave this seat? I'll shovel coal, Lord, to pay my fare. Gotta get this train down to the station. My little girl waiting for me there. Well, the night is dark and Lord, it's cloudy. I've been traveling that lonesome road. My one true love waiting there to see. Want that low train to carry me back. About 9, and poor boy's heart started overheating, sending all of his love on down. For the night is dark and Lord is quiet. I've been traveling this lonesome road. My one true love waiting there to see. Will it long old train back home? For the night is dark and the sky is cloudy. Traveling on that lonesome, I want true love waiting there to see me. For that long old train, won't you carry me? Oh, train, won't you carry me home?
Good night, all. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit Strasburg. Bye-bye.